About 5 years ago, I learned about sensory processing disorder, which occupational therapists have known about since the 1940s. And it's a brain wiring thing. And so these kids are more sensitive to light, to sound, to sitting on hard chairs, to being touched. They flinch when you touch, or they're all over you. It's the all or nothing thing. There is one school of thought that it only happens with those who are in the autism spectrum, which is not true. We do see it in that, but we see it with regular average kids. It's a genetic thing. It is inherited. When I do intakes with parents, one of them always says, "Oh, that's me." The best person to see for this is an occupational therapist who is specializing in sensory processing disorder. There are very few that do the extra stuff. They can do an assessment and tell you, here are the things that is going on with your children. The one that we're seeing the most is the visual sensory issue, and it doesn't show up, obviously, until 2nd or 3rd grade when the print gets smaller in books. And then these kids start acting out. They have, one of the things that is a red flag that says sensory is the kids that run away when they're overstimulated, and these massive meltdowns that go from to completely out of control. They need a nest. They need someplace to go and just cut out all sensory stuff. The book I recommend to parents is this one, Too Loud, Too Bright, Too Fast, Too Tight, because it has a checklist in the front, and then in the back it has things you can do, like creating a nest, like not trying to talk to them when they're overstimulated and melting down. You can tell they're melting down because their pupils are dilated or are very, very thin, their hands are cold, they're in flight or fight, and their cortisol level and adrenaline are astronomically high. When you try to talk to them, they hear and they work really hard to hear you, and it gets worse. I do a lot of work with children with sensory processing disorder. They're really fun as they get used to living with this. There is no medication that helps this. Neurofeedback, which we do here, and occupational therapy directed toward that are the only things that work to reconnect the brain correctly.